how the system came about, to get into the history of it. This system actually started as a development tool. It was something that I was working on as a side project in my spare time to create better tools for our game. We had a small team, as some of you know, and we were trying to get a lot of content out to the players as much as possible. And I thought the best way to do that was to get our tools as tight and as polished as possible. I had this idea that anybody on the development team could create content for any of our issues when they came up. And while I was working on this project, it just kind of clicked. I was like, why am I stopping with the dev team? Right? Like, why not give it to you guys? Why not just open it up? And that was the inception. That's pretty much where it started with the mission architect. It was really like, give it to everybody. And so that leads into kind of the goals that we wanted to have with this feature. We wanted it to be very easy to use. And we have a great example of that in our game already, which is the Costume Creator. Costume Creator, very easy to use tool. It has a lot of depth to it. There's a lot of things you can do, and it still doesn't require a tutorial. You can get into it at the beginning of the game, learn how to use it, you know what you need to do, and that's actually one of our main goals for this feature. We want to have a lot of deep selection. We want to make sure that you can pick from a number of different things to create your story. We want to fill it as deep as possible. And the other goal that we have with it is that we actually want the best stuff that's written, the best stuff that's made by players who really love our game to rise to the top. We want you to be able to find what it is that you want to play and the stuff that people really put their energy into and make it easy so when people want to play it, they can show up and they can find it and they can get to it. So with all of that in mind, there obviously, as some of you kind of can imagine, there's going to be challenges in regards to some pretty big challenges. It's pretty much a new system for the MMO market, to my very limited knowledge of that, but we are really trying to wrestle against the idea of having as much creative freedom for the players versus potential exploitation that we expect players to also do. And with that in mind, like every time we look at a system, it's how do we contain exploitation while at the same time allowing as much creativity for you guys to tell the stories that you want to tell in our game. So now with all that aside, let's kind of get into the nitty-gritty of what this thing can actually do. So with the mission architect, you can build more than just missions. You can actually build full story arcs to share with other players in any of villains or any of heroes. And you can really push their story, the stories that you want to tell to all of these people. I did a rough count actually before the show, and we have in a single mission something like 100 plus categories for people to choose, and within those categories, the amount of options there are it's very much like a Costume Creator. Like you can pick, I want to put this on my head, but within your head category, you have all kinds of things you can pick over there. And we're doing the same thing with this. You can really have all kinds of combinations and a lot of depth of creativity to it. This is anything from picking who your contact is, picking what map you want it to be on, picking who you want them to fight, picking a specific boss, picking the animation you want the boss to play, picking the dying words that the boss says when you're fighting them. You can write all of the dialogue in the game that you want to have for this particular story arc. You can write, anybody you got to rescue, you can pick who you rescue, pick what the rescue dialogue is. We're really on a lot of levels, like I said, it's a dev tool. It's what I do every day, and I want to give it to you guys. Like that's really kind of my goal. And then I can retire, and you guys. So it wouldn't be a multiplayer game if we didn't actually let you guys share this with other people. And so with that in mind, we've created what we call an ARC server. And that is very similar to those of you who are familiar with our game, the Auction House, which we have a number of servers in our game, and the ARC server actually goes across all of them. You can share this with anybody that you want who plays our game, whether they be on a server or in a different version. If it's COH or COV, if it's on City of Villains or City of Heroes, everybody's going to be able to see the stories that you made. And then we get into the fun part, which is when people play your stories, they're going to be able to rate them. Very similar to a YouTube or Amazon as far as the stuff you like and the stuff you like to play. You give it 5 stars, it goes up to the top of the list. Other people give it 5 stars. If you read something really bad, probably not going to get 5 stars. But everybody can write this stuff, and that's going to kind of, hopefully, again, one of our main goals is to create a rise to the top. And when you try and find these stories, when you want to find what you want to play, we're going to give it to you in these kind of very specific categories that you're going to find what you want. 3 of the categories that we have that I can talk about now are Quick Play, Developer's Choice, and Hall of Fame. What Quick Play does is, ideally you can kind of understand what it's probably going to do when you think about what Quick Play should do. is it actually gives you the highest rated missions that you haven't yet played. And so anytime you show up, you're like, I just want to run through something really quick. You go there and you want to make sure it's good. Like, you don't want to play a bad mission or that sort. So we show you, look, 5 stars right here, you have it done this thing. You're in. The next one, Developers Choice, one of my personal favorites. What we actually do is we handpick these story arcs that best represent what we think the mission architect system can be. And there's a big incentive to get in the Developers Choice section, because for that we actually add full XP and influence onto those missions. So players who are making content that they want to have people get the full rewards from, they better write one that I really like, and then I'll handpick it and I'll put it up there myself. The next choice is Hall of Fame. It's entirely based off of you guys, saying what you like the best, the 5-star one that you put up there, that's going to be in the Hall of Fame. And we're going to have, at some point, these missions are going to be such that we expect them to stick around for as long as the game is, and you'll always be in the Hall of Fame for those missions. So that's rewards, and then now we move on to multiple selection parameters. I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm jumping ahead. So, search functionality. We can have this awesome system, but if you can't find what you want, it doesn't really matter. So, with that in mind, we're really paying a lot of attention to what you're going to actually have to find the missions that you want. You're going to be able to search for a villain group that you particularly like to play. If there's someone in your super group base or a friend of yours that wrote content that you want to play, you're going to be able to find the content based on his name and be able to track that down. If there's a map that you like or a range that you want to play in, you're going to be able to find that content as well. And so again, it's like just trying to give it to you as much as we can, as easily as we can. This is a mock-up that I have made that as a team we are attempting to design towards. I made this up myself in Photoshop. Some of you saw an earlier